And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode number 11. Pull that thing back just a little bit. There you go. Too far. That is badass, dude. I have that stuff laying all over my table here. I need to do that. Start to put it, frame it up. And that would be...
That's the world according to Nemesis right there, boys and girls.
Yes, sir.
It's hard to get it without a glare.
Yeah, so the color pictures come in good right there.
Performing, from playing one of our many badass songs, and there's William Richard Carr III on bass, and I can't tell what's down there. What the fuck's down there?
We're gonna try to get him on the podcast.
That would be fun. So,
welcome
to answer your question for
11.
those that I'm a real number 11, episode number 11. Robert Rhodes. Who's Robert Rhodes? Somebody named Robert Rhodes is calling me. I'm going to send him a message.
Right on.
It's currently with clients. I'll call you back soon. So the fun thing about what I do, your friendly neighborhood real estate guy, and I just had a dude call me because he Googled realtors in Phoenix, Arizona. I was listed number 4, but I was the only one that answered my phone.
So then you became number 1.
So Robert Nunez is going to be working with me. And what's weird is I just missed a call from Robert Rhodes, and Robert Rhodes was already in my phone. So I'll have to follow up with him when we're done.
Right on.
But yeah, so I answer my phone, and I've done that for years. And I always kind of tell people that I don't know how many people I've stolen from other realtors just because I answer my phone. It's a crazy thing. Just answer your phone. So, no, you realtors out there, don't answer your phone. Never answer your phone at all. I'll answer my phone, and I'll take care of everybody.
100%. I was going to say you didn't steal them because you're the one that actually picked up the phone. Had they picked up the phone, they would have had that client.
Right.
So
yeah, exactly.
And I will attest, he always answers his phone going back 25, 27, 28 years. Even before there were cell phones, he answered his phone.
Hello? Even before there were cell phones. And I had true story, one of my voice, remember answering machines, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you remember the show, The Rockford Files?
Of course I do.
Okay, so I had an outgoing message for a while that was, "Hi, this is Jim Rockford." My father-in-law called it one time and it kept hanging up. And so finally Nikki answered. He's like, "What is that Jim Rockford stuff?" It's like, "That's Chris." Jim Rockford.
Mine always said, you might even remember it. Mine always said I was out doing something constructive for the band.
I think, yeah, probably.
It was something to that degree. Oh, yeah.
Probably remember that. Yeah.
I had a...
So there you go. So last week we were talking and I got cut. Go ahead. You had a what?
Well, this might lead into what you were going to say. I was going to say I had a...
Okay.
I don't know. We'll just call it what it is. I had a one-night stand with a girl that somehow got a hold of my phone number, and she stalked my answering machine for about 6 weeks every day. I was afraid to go to sleep at night for a while.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not long before I met you.
How does she stalk your answering machine?
Because the crazy bitch must have stole my phone number while I was sleeping off my phone. Remember your phone used to be, or your number used to be written on your phone, like, or your answering machine, or your handheld.
That's so he wouldn't forget it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Right.
We had a tendency to forget things back then. So she must have actually wrote it down while I was sleeping and started, I dropped her off and I was like, that's the end of that. We did what we were going to do and we're never going to talk again because you're kind of psychotic. Well, I found out just how psychotic she was because every day I would come home and there'd be like 9 messages on my answering machine, like basically saying everything, but I want to have your baby. Whew. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy people.
Dodged a bullet there, Mikey.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. So yeah, you were saying last week we were talking about.
Right on. So well, last week we were talking, and unfortunately I had to cut it short because, I had some dirt being delivered, and
It was all good.
but I was enjoying that conversation because I think it was probably one of the most real conversations we've had on the show. Especially since we were touching on relationships.
I got a lot of
and
feedback,
success and lack of success, and yeah.
I did get a lot of feedback in that same general direction that said they enjoyed the realness, the realism. Just very good banter, I guess.
Yeah, being real, raw, and relevant. It's.
I like the real, raw, and relevant.
Conversations flow better when, and that's not mine. I have to give credit to where credit's due. It's from Wake Up Warrior, a thing I did many years ago, basically.
I like things that are concise and to the point like that.
Yeah. The other thing that I learned in Warrior was the core values, which is body, being, balance, and business. And that kind of falls into what we were talking about last week, because body is how you take care of your body. Your body is your one and only body. Balance is the relationship you have within your familial structure, whatever that may be. Like with you, it's your parents and your siblings. With me, it's Nikki and the kids and the grandbabies and Michael Fry Jr., Sky's fiance, and then, obviously Nikki's father, my father-in-law, because that's kind of the balance side of it. Being is your whatever you deem as your spirituality, which we've talked about a few times now on the Chris and Mike show. Selfless plug. So being is just whatever that relationship is, right? Some people have to have that full-blown, go to church every Sunday, tithe 10% and say all the prayers that, every night before you go to bed. I know people that wake up, read the Bible when they get up and then they pray, and thanking God for waking up. I'm like,
dude, if that helps them be the person that I try to be every day, which is I try to be nice to people. I try not to go out of my way to be mean to people. And we're going to touch on this subject a little bit later, but if that helps them be that kind of person, then great. But I've run into too many people that sit in that front row at church on Sunday and then do the polar opposite the other 99.9% of their life. Right?
Right. And those we call lukewarm. If the whole Christian terminology, it's lukewarm. Like you can't.
Or I just go right to the source. Hypocrite.
Bible that too. It's do as I say, not as I do type thing, right? Like you can live your life,
Correct.
but just don't use me as example because I'm not the right example. But I'm going to tell you how to live because that's my role in your life. But don't follow me around because you're not going to see me living the same way that you want me to live. You ever
Gandhi said it best.
What was that movie? You ever said Steve? Yeah. What did he say?
So Gandhi's quote was,
"What did Gandhi
I like
say?
your Christ." Okay, so Gandhi says, I like your Christ. I do not like your Christians because they are so unlike your Christ. He basically said very nicely what you just said.
Oh.
They learn what they're supposed to do, but they don't practice it in any way, shape, or form.
Right. That's good. That's brilliant.
I don't want to totally bash Christianity.
You ever seen the movie Leap of Faith?
I have not.
No, we're not. We're not because I'm gonna segue this. I'm gonna segue this in the movies. You've never seen Leap of Faith?
I don't think I have, to be honest with you.
Okay, Steve Martin, Liam Neeson, Deborah Winger, the late great Meatloaf.
Man, I can't believe
what it was.
If I did, I was
Steve Martin plays
inebriated.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, we'll read the bio, the Wikipedia version. It's set in 1992 in America.
Dude, I was putting Nemesis together in 1992. I was busy.
Sorry. I don't think I saw it in 92. No. I don't think I saw it in 92. This is stuff I've watched later in life. But anyway, long story short, he plays this guy named Jonas Nightingale. And they break down in a small ass town in Kansas that's, drought ridden and all that kind of jazz. And I mean, all the fake, apostle preachers, tent stuff where he goes and makes the statue, he's got the statue behind the curtain thing, behind this pulpit, right, in this stage. It's very theatrical. Like you would dig it because they have earpieces in, and as so many people come in and they start talking about, little Johnny can't walk, and Dave's suffering from arthritis, and then so he uses all that knowledge through the headpiece communication throughout the little group of people. And he basically fucks with their minds, right? It's like, oh, Mike, you're suffering from bronchitis. So, I lay my hands on your chest. Boom! All of a sudden,
okay.
Oh, I'm free of bronchitis. So it's a really cool look at it that way, right? And it's a really cool look at the theatrical part of those type of preachers that. They're really, let's be honest, they're all grabbing, it's money grabbing. It's
they're con men.
It's that whole concept that you want to go to heaven. Right. You want to go to heaven, you got to buy your way in. That's, that's why
I could never figure out why God needed so much money.
No. And I've always liked, Bono, right? Bono from U2. I think it was during Rattle and Hum when they did the filming of Rattle and Hum that, before Silver and Gold, or during Silver and Gold, I think he says, the God I believe in isn't short of cash, mister. Like,
correct.
I love that because that's so
a great
true.
Line.
It's just right. You don't have to pay for salvation. I've never understood that bizarre concept, but mankind on a whole is weak and they need to be led for the most part. And everybody's led in some direction. Wouldn't you agree?
Agreed. Yeah, we all are.
Yeah.
And music keeps me sane. If going to church keeps them sane, then right. Great. I have nothing against it. I've been through many phases in my life, and I've been married to so many different ideas that, I just came to the conclusion that I'm going to do what I have to do to be a good person every day. And I'm going to try not to intentionally hurt anyone. And it's not my business to police the world or right. care about what anybody else does. I always go by the mantra that I don't give a shit what you're doing at all. You can do whatever you want. You're also an adult. You're free.
Yeah. Yep.
When you care about what I'm doing, mm-hmm. then we have an issue. I'm not going to be the same person you came to know and love. Right? You're going to see a different Mike.
Right.
I don't like to be that guy.
Especially if judgment comes along with that. Right.
Oh, yeah. Then they're going to find out I'm smarter than they thought I was.
Finger pointing. Right. Right. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. And some people out there just want to pick fights, man. Like I made some comments this week, and I'm a Giants fan, New York Football Giants, who absolutely suck ass, but it is what it is. But I made a couple comments on social media about how Saquon Barkley, he's inconsistent. He's not as good as he was when he got in the league. He's only been in the league 4 or 5 years. Right. He's only been in the league 4 or 5 years because of injuries that slowed him down. He doesn't have that breakaway speed. He doesn't have the Barry Sanders cutting ability like he used to have. But as we all know, some football fans are so freaking just plastic, man, and they have paper mache for skin, and they're just waiting for somebody to say one little thing so they can start picking a fight. And it's so I always say when I respond to something, or when somebody tries to bait me, I'm like, look, man, life's too short for you to bait me into a battle. This is my opinion. If you don't like it, go read somebody else's response. But I'm not changing what I said because Barkley is a human being. From what I've seen, I don't know the man, but from what I've seen and heard and watched, he's a stellar human, man. He does lots of things for the community. He's got a good heart, but he just isn't the football player he was. So in my mind, he's not worth $15 million this season that he played because there's so many times.
I was just getting ready to say because
and he could,
that's what he's getting paid to do.
Go ahead.
If you don't close on a house and the people lose the house, they're not going to hire you as a realtor again. They count on you to do what you're supposed to do to make sure they don't lose that sale. He's supposed to go out there on 4th and 1 and be able to run 3 feet, right? That's what he gets paid to do. I agree with you. These people are amazing human beings for the most part. Yes, just fall forward. You're 6'4" or whatever.
Yep.
I agree with you. They're athletes for the most part are amazing human beings. I just met Rob Sims from the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
He played for the Seahawks, and then he got traded to the Lions. He runs one of the dispensaries up in Michigan with Megatron, Calvin Johnson.
Oh, right on.
Did not get to meet Calvin. Could have the next time.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So hopefully he'll be there the next time we head up there on one of those meet and greets. But Rob Sims was just so kind and nice. And, you know, I mean, he wasn't a huge name, but the people that have told me about when Megatron's there, they said he's just as open and will take pictures, sign autographs, talk about his product. You know, they have not only the marijuana part of it, but they also have a whole CBD line of sports medicine. It's more like hydration stuff, you know, kind of like a body armor, but their claim to fame is they have, you know, no sugar and no bad thing. It's all natural stuff in there. So anyway, I agree with your point, not to go off on a fucking tangent, but Jesus. That athletes for the most part are amazing human beings.
That's what we do.
But when they suck at their job on the football field, there's nothing wrong with calling them out. And I absolutely adore these people who just are so passionate that they're going to try and ruin your day, which will never happen because they don't understand how our brains operate. Yeah, trolls on the internet are just such adorable people. They would never say that.
And the one thing that I'm very mindful. No, and I'm very mindful when I make any comments about the Giants or the Diamondbacks because I like Diamondbacks baseball, even though they suck ass, except for this one year. I always say they. Like they shouldn't have paid him $15 million a year because at the end of the day, the crucial moments are what they need him for. Now, did he have a good year in general? Yeah, he almost 1,000 yards rushing. He's a great out of the backfield receiver. But there's I'm not the coach. I'm not the owner. I don't have anything to do with the team aside from being a fan. So everybody should hear this. You're not playing for the team that you're rooting for. You have no vested interest. You're not paying salaries. You're not invested in the stadium and all the daily costs in and out. Like, you don't have that. You're a fan sitting at home, watching on TV, or if you're lucky enough, you have season tickets and you go to every game and you're a diehard fan. You're a fan.
Correct.
You don't own the team. You don't have ownership in it.
Unless you're the Green Bay Packers.
It's not Christian
Unless you live in Green Bay.
Right. It's not. Exactly. That's the exception to the rule. Those fans can be straight up fucking assholes if they want, if their team is not producing the product on the field that even though it's micro, even though it's a tiny bit of that dollar, right? But they still have ownership in that. And
I own $1,500 in Ford, and I feel like I have an opinion.
Right. That's it. And you can have that opinion, but you are not. You're a glorified couch potato, and it blows my mind. And I get that someone gets so pissed off when I simply state that he's not been playing as good as he was his rookie year. And then I had somebody come back and say, "Well, the years that he wasn't hurt, what year wasn't he hurt? He was hurt every year." Running backs are the most punishing position on a football field. So they're always going to get lit up. They're always going to get hurt. They're always going to get damaged. They're always going to get broken and bruised because they get pounded. Every single play, you have 11 other guys trying to knock your head off. Right?
Yeah. There was over 50 starting quarterbacks in the NFL this year. Wrap your head around that. There was over 50 starting quarterbacks insane. In 17 games. Actually, it was less than 17
Giants had
games.
4 of them. Yeah.
Yes, they did. They had one of our Illinois boys, that DeVito, for a while. Yeah. He played at the University of Illinois.
Tommy Cutlets.
So then, did he get hurt
He was a
too?
good
Is that why you
quarterback, too.
ended up?
Well, no. What happened was he had a bad game, so he benched him. And so instead of, it's kind of like this is an easy way to relate to this music, right?
I relate to music.
You don't need anybody to put music out anymore.
Correct.
We can do it ourselves. We can write our own music. We can distribute our music. We can put it on all the social media aspects, put them all the online platforms, Apple, Spotify, blah, 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 blah.
We're doing it right now.
It's the same. Podcast. Right. Right. So you don't need anybody to develop you anymore. You don't need anybody going behind you and do this. But on the football field, if you see a guy that comes off the bench, which DeVito did, he elevated the play, not so much the what's the word? He made everybody around him more excited to play and had a lot more engagement and excitement.
Hey, tell him to accept my Facebook friend request. I thought we were friends.
Hey, Mike says accept his Facebook friend request.
He did.
He did.
Okay, I was feeling dissed, man.
I swear I did.
Hold on.
Well, everybody.
He's feeling dissed, man.
What's up, Jake? You got a lot of good feedback on your podcast. Tell him that he got a lot of good feedback. Everybody loved Jake.
Because he can't hear you because I got the headphones.
I know I was going to have you.
There you go.
I didn't mean to hijack y'all's.
You're cool, dude. What's up, man?
You're not hijacking.
I was going to tell you.
Oh, never mind. I saw it. Sorry. I'm not on Facebook.
It's all good, man.
Jake's hijacking the Chris and Mike show.
Hey, you got a lot of positive feedback on the. You got a lot of positive feedback on the podcast. So I just wanted you to know that everybody really enjoyed hearing it. They were captivated as far as they said, for as young as you are, you're very well spoken. They were really amazed that you gave up that much of your time and stayed engaged. And I had a blast doing it. It was cool getting to know you. I hope you stay safe on your deployment. And when you come back and you're on leave, come back and do another episode, man. It went over really well. I think you have the most hits on the reel on our Facebook page of anybody. Your dad's not far behind you, but you're the winner right now.
Very nice.
Did that shirt fit, dude?
Come on now.
You are always the winner.
It did. It fit very well.
Awesome. I thought that design was badass. I tried to pick the coolest one.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad it fit. Represent the United Auto Workers 6,000 miles away. We'd appreciate it.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Oh, funny story. Remember how I said I found y'all's podcast just randomly?
Yes.
Well, there's this girl I know, and she was like talking to me, and she found the podcast on her own.
No.
She's like, "You're in this." I was like, "Yes, that is me."
Yeah.
Okay, so explain to me how did that timeline go down? You started talking to the girl and she found a podcast, or she found a podcast and you started talking to the girl?
Behind the scenes footage.
Which way did that go?
I was talking to her, and then she found the podcast because I mentioned it one day. I was like, "Oh yeah, I did some podcasts with my dad and one of his buddies." She's like, "Oh, that's cool," and I did her research and then found it, and then watched the entire thing in the airport.
Which one did she?
That's awesome, man.
Me in it.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
right on.
Totally cool, man.
That's cool.
Yeah, you're climbing up the list fast.
You're expanding our viewership.
I think of our 11 episodes. I think you're number 4 right now.
What needs to happen is when he goes back to Japan, he needs to tell all his buddies in the barracks to find us and listen. So our Japan viewership goes.
Yes.
Somebody's watching.
Spread us all around the world, man.
Who you are? Let's see. We have a viewer right there.
I will indeed try my best.
Right there.
When do you head out?
Hi, Tanya.
Tanya loves to know.
Hi, Tanya.
Thursday.
Hi, Tanya.
I fly out at 8 a.m.
Oh, 800.
So then when do you head to San Diego?
I need to get back in the military mindset.
Do you like the
3 more months?
Tanya?
April 10th.
All right.
410.
410.
Is it 10-4-23 or 10-4-24?
4/10/24.
4-10-24.
Hi. Well.
Hi. Hi, LOL. Hi, LOL. He just said hi, lol. It's hi, LOL. God, not loud. Marines, you know.
Does he have us
What's
live
funny
on
is Mike's
something?
over here, and we're over here.
Hi, I'm over here.
Yes, he is.
I could try to do this.
On Instagram.
Let's see. No, it's on Facebook.
Oh, it's
It's
Facebook.
Facebook Live, Mike.
Facebook Live.
There, right there.
Hello,
right there.
Facebook.
Whoops, right there. I'm broadcasting this live on Facebook, Mike. It's behind
Hi,
the scenes.
Facebook.
Say hi to Tommy.
Right on.
She can't hear you because
Fireworks.
she can't.
I can hear you.
She can only hear me because I'm not on the. Well, sorry about that, Tanya. I know you didn't want to see the back of my desk. I apologize.
Well, I'm a bounce.
All right, he's gonna
I'm
bounce.
gonna give this back to my dad.
All right.
So
All right, right on, man.
It was nice talking to you
Stay
again, Mike.
safe, brother. You too.
I will. You too, bro.
Thank you.
Tanya says hi, Mike.
Hi, Tanya.
All right, hold on.
Do I know Tanya?
Yeah, Mike says hi, Tanya. She's one of our followers. I put us up live on the Facebook Chris and Mike page, and Tanya's the only sole watching person because probably everybody else is at work, and you know.
Okay.
It's Tanya Lawson Hobart. Did I say that right, Tanya? Hobart?
Oh, yeah.
Tanya Lawson Hobart.
Yes, I work with Tanya.
Mike says, "Oh yes, I work with Tanya."
I thought it was just some
That's not
random
what he
Tanya.
is.
No, I just thought it was some random Tanya. Jesus.
There's not random Tanyas. Yeah.
That's a very common name.
She
man.
just saw you at work, man. She's like, "What the fuck?"
I thought we were just talking like some random Tanya. I didn't know it was. Okay, I got you.
No. Somebody else has joined the live program. They need to say hi so I can acknowledge them.
How many followers do we have?
Tanya's talking like, you know, we have a good old thread. I don't know. It's on my phone, so I don't know.
I don't have them memorized.
So Tanya, make sure you watch this episode that's coming up because we're gonna have the top 11 sandwiches, you know, that people should eat at some point in time in their life. You know, I got to figure out how to do it to where I can capture this screen
Audio
at the same time as this screen. I was just thinking it'd be kind of cool for people to see. Well, you could do the same thing, but it would be kind of weird. So I'm going to go, though, Tanya. It's nice to see you. Make sure you give Mike shit tomorrow at work because, you know, he's like, which Tanya is that?
You just
And this
said
is me
Tanya.
throwing Mike under the bus.
No, there's no bus. You know how many Tanyas there are in the world?
She's going to give you shit. I said her whole name. Tanya
Not till-
Lawson Hobart.
Not till after I asked which Tanya.
Yeah, this is true. He did ask which Tanya before I told him your entire name. So I'll give him that.
I think there's more than one Tanya on our friends list.
You have a great day, Tanya. There's Ted. Hi, Ted. Ted Whittle. Do you know Ted Whittle?
Yes, I also work with Ted Whittle.
Hey, Mike says hi, Ted, because he says you work together.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? That makes sense because everybody's home from work back in your neck of the woods where I'm still. It's still the work day here.
Correct. We're ahead of you. Yeah, we started a whole hour before.
So Tanya. So does Tanya know Ted? Right. So
probably.
Tanya, do you know Ted? Does Ted and Tanya know each other?
They might.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's a big factory.
Yeah, she's gonna. Yeah, Tanya's gonna give you shit tomorrow. I'm reading what she's saying. Oh boy, you're in trouble. I'd wear a mask to work tomorrow, Mike.
I just thought it was a random Tanya, man. That's a common name.
I know. It's all good.
You know, if you had said
All right,
Rosalie,
we'll see you later, Tanya.
I don't know too many Rosalies. That would have narrowed it down quickly.
Rosalie, a whole lot of
know,
Rosie from AC/DC.
Like I'm doing a podcast with you, and my
Public,
brother-in-law is also Chris, so I have to define who I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yes, you do. Okay, so
I'm gonna get
behind
shit
the
anyway,
scenes
so it
just
doesn't matter.
dropped on our pay. You are going to get shit, but it's fun.
It is. You got to be able to take it working in a factory, man. People bust your ass all the time. Balls, whatever you want to call it.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, go to the show. Go to the show. Oh, maybe it's got to upload. Oh, there it is. Yeah, behind the scenes. There you go. Behind the scenes with Chris and Mike.
Right
That's
on.
when Jake came in and stole the thunder. They stole the thunder from down under. Oh, that's the mirror. Anyway,
Well,
there you go.
everybody.
Kind of see
Everybody really dug his episode, so I wanted to tell him
Yeah.
thank you again and that he's welcome back anytime.
Yeah.
I did touch
cool.
base with Tony Palmer, and as soon as I
Tony
get
Palmer.
my new internet, we will be doing a podcast with him because I want to be able to not have any kind of delay at all. He's going to be a super interesting guest. I'll give everybody a sneak peek. One of the tidbits that he told me was he ran sound for Ted Nugent at the Texas Jam. And if you look up the Texas Jam, I think it took place in about 78. I don't want to quote the date. I believe he said it was in the late 70s. There was like 80,000 people at this gig. And then once they got done with that, he took Ted on his first wild boar hunt in Taos, New Mexico. So this is the caliber of been there, done that, kind of been in the music business guy this guy is.
So this is the guy then that turned Ted on to wild boar hunting.
Yes, 100%.
Because it was his first wild boar hunt. Right. That's pretty cool to say about Ted.
I think the end of my statement was that's the kind of caliber guest we're bringing on here for the listeners to be entertained with, and he will be able to tell you stories like that for as long as we'll have him. So I'm super excited about having him. He's a very nice guy. He's been more than generous with his time, kind of educating me as to what he's done and not done, and looking forward to it, just so everybody knows that's coming up as soon as Mike can get some fiber optic internet.
That's good because, we're not very entertaining, so we need somebody like Tony to entertain everyone.
Actually, I got more compliments on us being funny and entertaining than I had anticipated. More you being funny than me because, I'm just me, but I'm funny in spite of myself sometimes.
Well, you can't, yeah, but that's the thing. You can't, it's kind of like when I was on iHeartRadio, I that show wouldn't have been as good had I didn't have my co-host Margie bouncing off of every stupid thing I said. That's just, you got to have two. It's like, Howard Stern wouldn't be Howard Stern without Robin Quivers, even though Howard Stern,
I told Jake, that was, there was a million reasons I chose you to do this with, but that was one of the biggest deciding factors was I love people that make me laugh, man. And, you've always made me laugh, and we don't argue, and that's a big one. So those are the two big ones is I like people that make me laugh, and I like people that I can have a deep, serious conversation with that I know is not going to get offended and break down. And, you and I don't have walls. So, there's no limitations as to what we can talk about. And there's very few people that I've met in my life that I've been able to go that far with where I understand, there are no limitations as subjects go, and got to be careful, man. People got feelings.
Yeah. Well, it's the paper mache skin, And here's a fun little thing that another, squirrel. Today marks it's my monthly sober date. So every month I have a sober date.
Okay.
And then once a year I have my sober year. Well, I'm now January 9th. The 9th of the month is my sober day. And then next February, this next month will be my 19th year.
Wow.
Alcohol
Congratulations.
free. I'm surprised Budweiser and Jack Daniels are still in business, personally. Thank you. Well, you can congratulate me next month. I always have my chip with me because anytime I go anywhere that's like when Nikki and I go dancing and we go to a bar and we do that because it's country dancing, I always have my chip with me in my pocket.
See, now the listeners out there will be like,
stick your hand in your pocket, fiddle with the chip.
The listeners will be like, see, that was a dick move of Mike because I thought about it as I just did it to drink my beer while he held his AA chip up. But that doesn't offend Chris because he knows he has the problem, not me. That's where we're at in life, folks. I wouldn't even think about it other than I want to tell the people that's where him and I are at. If he could do cocaine on occasion, I wouldn't care if he did a line of cocaine in front of me, but I can't do that because I will do it for the rest of my life, or at least the next 5 years. So I just don't do it, you know?
That's how Kevin Dubrow died. Did you know that?
Yes. Yeah. I'm surprised I didn't, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of.
And we'll go down those roads
I'm just
as
surprised
we
that
go
Kevin
along
Dubrow
with this.
died,
Well, there's nights where you feel like your
I was
heart's
just
beating
more
out of your
surprised that,
fucking chest. It's amazing anybody lives through it.
right, but I'm just surprised that right, but it just blew my mind that because he died recently in the last 5-6 years, I think. So it just kind of surprised me when they said his cause of death was cocaine overdose. Of all the things out there in the world,
it was longer ago than that. Hold on.
I'm googling it too. 2007.
Oh, all right.
2007. Yep. Yeah, he was found dead in his Vegas home.
Oh, you mean to still
Dubrow
have
told
been
him,
doing it? Okay.
Do cocaine, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I finally just caught up with you.
Fatal overdose. Oh, I'm sorry. Fatal.
No.
Here it was though. It was a fatal overdose of a combination of cocaine, painkillers, and alcohol.
Oh,
So he was,
speedballing.
overly self-medicating. Right.
Yes. Been there, done
10.
that too. Woohoo. Yeah.
Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah, I've done it many times.
He'd never been married and had no children, so his legacy died with him. That's surprising. He was dead at the time of his death. He was estimated to be worth around $10 million, and with no heirs, I wonder where that money went.
Right to the state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, you only need one. You only need one successful one-hit wonder. That's why they call them one-hit wonders.
Oh yeah.
You live your whole life off that. Their Mental Health album sold just millions and millions. It probably went diamond. I bet it sold over 10 million copies because I owned it. Everybody owned it in 1983 or 4, whenever that came out.
Yeah, I did too.
It was on every ghetto blaster in America.
Yeah.
Look up when Mental Health came out.
It was their third. Yeah. It was their third album ever released, March 11th of 1983.
Yep. Same year Pyromania came out, by the way.
Come on. Right on. Yeah, Come On,
Go ahead.
Illinois, Mental Health. We're just trying to see. It was the first heavy metal album to ever reach number 1, which we knew. It replaced The Police's Synchronicity, which was a good album, in November of 83. Due to its commercial success, it was regarded as by some as the catalyst that opened the door for hair metal's immense popularity through the next several years. So I could see that.
Yeah.
It ended up going 6 times platinum. So what's diamond? What do you got to do for diamond?
10.
Platinum's $1 million. So is diamond 10 million?
Yes.
Okay.
10 million copies.
So it said it went on in the US alone, it was certified 6 times platinum.
Okay.
So
you have to have 10 million in the United States to get a diamond record. Just FYI.
Gotcha.
The standards are different when you get outside the United States because it's based on population density. So like in Canada, to have a diamond record, you might only have to sell 750,000 copies or something, or 2 million. But in the United States, it's 500,000 for gold, 1 million for platinum, and 10 million for diamond.
Right.
It's hard to have a diamond album. That's a lot of records.
I knew the. Yeah. So.
Now, okay, I'll go down this.
AC/DC has that.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
I'll go down this rabbit hole for 1 second. To put it in perspective of how amazing.
Yeah.
No matter what you think of the Black Album, that album has been on the Billboard Top 100 or 250. I think it's been on the Top 100 its entire existence. It's still on the Billboard Top 100 or 250 or whatever it is, but it's still there. So is Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon.
Holy
or was.
shit.
I think that one finally went down.
Okay. Okay. So I just Googled 10 million plus. Okay.
Okay.
So there's a 6-person group, a six musician band group that have gone 20 million or plus. Okay. And this is not surprising because I heard this before, but it's still surprising. The Eagles' greatest hits album from 71 and 75
Yep.
has gone platinum 38 times over.
Yep.
So they're the number one selling ever.
Yes.
Number 2 to that is
'Cause
Michael
it's
Jackson's
amazing.
Thriller. Not
Correct.
a surprise. Number 3 to that is the Eagles again with Hotel California.
That's surprising.
Number 4 to that, which I right? The number 4, which I thought definitely would be a diamond, is AC/DC's Back in Black.
That's not a diamond album.
Number 5, it is. It's 20 million plus. This is the 20 million plus category.
Okay. Jesus. Squirrel.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. So 20 million plus. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So the as of right now, the number one selling album of all time is the Eagles' greatest hit, 71-75, with 38 million sales because it's 38 times platinum. Next to that is Michael Jackson's Thriller, which is 34 times platinum. Number 3 is the Eagles' Hotel California, which is 26 million. So the Eagles alone, that's, wow, 64 million sales for just that greatest hits and Hotel California combined.
2 albums.
Then coming in at number 4 is AC/DC with Back in Black with 25 times platinum. Yeah, 2 albums. Led Zeppelin, the Mighty Zepp, the untitled
Yes.
Led Zeppelin 4
My favorite.
is at 24 times platinum. And then Rumors from Fleetwood Mac, 21 times platinum. So then you go to 15 to 19 million, right? Which is still even not a very large group. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 people between 15 and 19 million. I won't break it down, but I'll tell you in that chunk, you have Garth Brooks twice with 2 different albums. You have Guns N' Roses with 1 album. You have Shania Twain with Appetite for Destruction
album.
Guns N' Roses. Garth Brooks, Garth Brooks are No Fences. And then you have Shania Twain come on over. Then you have the Mighty Metallica, which I'm assuming is just a black album because it just says Metallica 91.
Yeah, that's
16 times
Yep.
platinum. That's as of 2012. There's an asterisk. That's as of 2012, so it may have gone more since. Elton John's greatest hits, Boston's debut, Boston's. Springsteen's protest album, Born in the USA. Bee Gees and Alanis Morissette, Dark Side of the Moon. Bob Marley and the Wailers. Journey's greatest hits and Steve Miller Band are all between 15 and 19 million responses.
And oddly enough, those are all bands that I still listen to every day. There's a reason they're there. Those are amazing albums. And just for our listeners that aren't complete music freaks like myself, the Shania Twain and the AC/DC were produced by the same producer, so it's not an accident that those albums are great selling. Yep. So for the people
and Metallica, no, he didn't. Did he do the Metallica? No,
Bob Rock did the Metallica. Yep. And Bob Rock is also a platinum album maker. So how many albums did Slippery When Wet sell? Because he did that. Or maybe he just engineered that.
I'm in the 10 millions now.
You know what? He might have just engineered that. I know he produced New Jersey. Okay. I'm almost
so positive. We have, okay. We have the 10 to 14 million. You have Hootie and the Blowfish, Carole King, Simon Garfunkel, Meatloaf, Whitney Houston. A couple soundtracks, Dirty Dancing and The Bodyguard. Backstreet Boys, Santana. I like saying Santana. Purple Rain. I'm surprised Purple Rain hasn't sold more than that. That's surprising.
How many is that?
M&M's, Marshall Mathers LP.
10 million plus?
Purple Rain was 13 times platinum.
I would have thought it would have been more too.
Beatles on here. Beatles. There it is. Slippery When Wet. 12 times. 12 million copies.
Okay. I knew it was quite a few.
Zeppelin's on here again. Yeah, the Beatles on here quite a bit. One of your favorite vocalists of all times on here, Creedence Clearwater Revival. Def Leppard's Hysteria's on there. Creed's on there. Human Clay. Pink Floyd's The Wall's on there. More Beatles. Houses of the Holy. Billy Joel's Stranger. Great fucking album. Nirvana's Nevermind.
Funny story about Billy Joel.
Kid Rock's Devil Without a Cause. Pearl Jam. Yeah.
I tell everybody the same thing. I always say that.
Yeah, go ahead. Funny story, Billy Joel.
I always say that I don't like Billy Joel.
You froze.
Every time I hear one of his songs, I'm like,
yeah,
damn it, I like Billy Joel. I don't know what it is, man. It's like a weird, I don't want to like the guy, and every time I hear one of his songs, I know every fucking word and I know all the music to it. It's crazy.
I think this may be why. This may be why. When he got with Christy Brinkley and did that whole Uptown Girl bullshit album,
okay,
it took away from where he was. Like I'll listen to The Stranger. Like I never was a big Billy Joel fan at all either, right? Never. I liked Piano Man. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
When I got back into owning records, I got The Stranger. I went to the record store and The Stranger called to me and I picked it up and went home and played it. I'm like, fuck, this is a good album, man, start to finish. So I think that's when some artists change, the change doesn't always keep you a fan, right? Like Metallica lost a lot of fans when they did Black, but they also gained 20 times as much fans because a lot of people thought they sold out because they weren't that driving heavy thrash, speed, death metal, whatever you want to call it. Not death metal, but you know what I'm saying.
For every one they lost, they gained 100. It wasn't
Ride the Lightning. It wasn't Kill 'Em All. Well, that's what I'm saying. So it wasn't, and now it is what it is. But you hit that point, and it's like, okay.
There's only one band that got away with making the same album There's only one band that got away with making the same album over and over and over again, and that's AC/DC. If Metallica had kept making, if Metallica had kept making Master of Puppets and Ride the Lightning, nobody would have liked them. Even Megadeth changed. No matter what people want to say, Megadeth went commercial when they did Euthanasia and Cryptic Writings, and they went down that same road. So I get in that same argument with people who diss Metallica all the time. The reason that they are the Led Zeppelin of our generation is because they evolved. It didn't always work. I appreciate them trying an album like Saint Anger. There's some songs that I like on there. It's just incomplete. It didn't get finished. The ideas are there, but it's almost like it was Metallica doing a demo.
Yeah.
And Metallica's demo is going to be 100 times better than everybody else's. Had it been any other album, people would have loved it. But because it was Metallica and we have high expectations for them, they were going through a rough period in their life. And, you and I know better than anybody what that's like.
Yep.
It's hard to be creative and write music when your life is in turmoil. Since then, they've written some great albums. If you've never done yourself a favor and listened to Death Magnetic or Hardwired for Self-Destruction, 72 Seasons, the latest album that they released, those 3 albums after Saint Anger are
that's good.
Absolutely amazing. They're great pieces of music. And I think people should just get off that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they haven't done anything since the Black Album. Yeah, well, they played about 6,000 shows since then. That's what they've done, you dumb fucks. to a sold-out crowd every night.
When Lux Eterna came out, right. So when 72 Seasons, the first track they released was Lux Eterna. So I'm an Orange Theory and Kool-Aid drinker. I go to Orange Theory, right?
Okay.
So every 6 months we have benchmarks. There's a reason I'm telling you this story. Every 6 months we have benchmarks, and those benchmarks are a 500-meter row and your best time possible, 2,000-meter row. Catch me if you can, which means everybody gets on the treadmill, and at certain intervals you got to add speed, or you have to be at a certain distance, otherwise you're caught and you got to get off. They also have the mile benchmark run, so you got to run a mile as fast as you can. Well, the trainers don't control the music, which really sucks. It's the only real negative thing about Orange Theory is the trainers are limited to whatever stupid music that Orange Theory makes them use.
Because of stupid.
Knowing this ahead of time, Right. So knowing this ahead of time, I had my trusty iPod, whatever you want to call that, and I downloaded. I have a running playlist, but I for this particular one, I had Lux Eterna from Metallica, and oh fuck, something from POD because it was driving. It was a driving song from POD, and I had Metallica's on there twice, and then POD's twice, so it was Metallica, POD. I ran the mile at Studio One because that's when I was doing back-to-back workouts at different studios. I ran the first mile at 5:55. Lux Eterna was playing the whole time because I had to go back-to-back. I turned it up loud enough so I could ignore the trainer, ignore all their bullshit music because they don't understand runners need a driving beat. If the music is just fucking out of sight, man, you go faster. You get that energy and you go. So the first studio I did in 5 minutes, 55 seconds. So the second studio, which was 30 minutes later, same concept, went in. Now understand I did an entire hour workout after I did the mile for the first part of the workout. The first 6 minutes of my day was doing that. Went to the next studio, same thing, Metallica. I sped up the treadmill on every interval because my goal was, I got to beat 5:55. I can't do 5:55 again. Fucking thing, man, I finished at 5:55 again. Which tells you what, Mike? It tells you that the treadmills are calibrated differently in different studios. But Metallica's Lux Eterna propelled me to hit that target twice in the period of an hour, which is pretty damn cool. And totally off topic, but it's relevant right now in our world, that Taylor Swift chick, guess where she's not? She's not in the 10 to 14 million copies sold. She's not in the 15 to 19 million copies sold. She's not in the 20 million or more copies sold. She is way down the list of less than 10 million records sold for her. Where is she? Her Fearless record that came out in 2008. She's only done 10 times platinum.
Do you want me to educate the listeners as to why, or would you just like to think that she doesn't sell a lot of records?
I would love you to educate the listeners as to why, Mr. Michaels.
Because the majority of her professional career that the American public knows her as today was in a time where CD and vinyl and record sales were in the toilet. If you look at her streaming numbers, she's probably smoking everybody by about 1,000 to 1. So just to put that in perspective, I know where you were going with that, and it makes me happy too. But unfortunately, I'm educated enough in the music business to have to say, damn it, it's because she spent the majority of her professional career in the non-physical media buying purchase era. When's the last time you or I bought a CD?
Okay, so true. So billions in the streaming, because I just typed in most streaming songs. The billions, the song called Blinding Lights, 3.993 billion. Song called Shape of You, 3.7 billion. Someone You Loved, 3.1 billion. Sunflower, 3.096 billion.
So what we need
Never heard
is
of any of those songs, man.
Everybody to download this podcast 3.9 billion times, and
right.
We will either bring you massively new good content, or you'll never have to hear us again. The choice is yours, people.
Oh, okay. So right. So now I know. Now this explains. Okay, so Spotify's most streamed songs, "Shape of You" by Ed Sheeran, 4.2 billion, or 4. Well, I rounded it up. "Blinding Lights" by The Weeknd. Like Blinding Lights. Who the fuck is that? The Weeknd, the band The Weeknd. And then Ed Sheeran comes in again at number 3 with "Perfect."
The Weeknd is a dude. He's a guy.
Oh, okay. And
I don't think it's a band. I think it's a guy. He's a good artist. Absolutely.
It doesn't spell weekend right. It's okay. Cool.
He's cool, man.
And then you have "Despacio" by Luis Fonsi.
You don't spell it right when you're
going.
cool.
And then "Someone You Loved" by Louis Capaldi.
You know that.
So that's the yeah. Oh yeah.
If it ends in an S, you put a Z there.
Yeah,
That's when you're cool.
interesting. Z Nemesis.
Yeah.
We should have had a Z in Nemesis. We didn't. We
would have had to have 2 Z's, and I think that would have been overindulgent.
Nemesis.
We would sound like we had a lisp.
Nemesis. That's how we could call. That's how we could call ourselves Nemesis again, by having Z's.
Hey,
Nemesis.
look, while you're on that subject, did we not have that name first? We can prove we had that name first. Why can't we have that name?
So.
We should have sued them. I mean, for Christ's sake, dude, we probably played over 1,000 shows on.
Because we have was all it needs is it needs to be printed. It's in printing. If it's in printing, then if it's in print, it's published. So therefore, it is.
Well, I have
because I just pulled up Nemesis
200
and
leftover tickets that
I know.
have Nemesis printed on them.
I know you do. Yeah.
And they're dated.
Yeah, arch enemy. The band Nemesis is what I'm looking for. The band.
Yeah, they're from like I want to say, what did I tell you?
Yeah.
Hungary.
I just pulled them up. I'm pulling them up right now.
They're from somewhere in Europe.
The song they have is "This Is the War Is On." It doesn't really tell me anything more about them.
I got to thinking about that. I was like, we've had that name since 1994.
Yeah. It's a Bangladesh rock band formed in 1999 in Dhaka. They're one of the most popular rock bands in Bangladesh.
So they stole our name 6 years later. We were still a band in 1999. They stole our fucking name.
We were.
We needed better lawyers.
Yep. We
Yeah, they stole our name while we were using it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nemesis didn't officially disband until 2000.
Yeah, they have a thing called nemesisband.com. This is a different Nemesis.
All kinds of people were ripped off our name.
These are a bunch of old dudes. Nemesis Rockstock. At the New Year's Eve celebration at the Romo Club, featuring entertainment by Nemesis. And these guys are not from Bangladesh. This is a full trumpet. This is a full brass band. It's got trumpets, 2 trumpets, a sax, keyboard, female singer, drummer, bass guitar, another rhythm guitar, and three rhythm guitars.
I'm offended. There is no band using the name Nemesis that should have a brass section. That's unacceptable.
No, and it's a horn-driven cover band. So therefore, I think we could still call ourselves Nemesis because they're a horn-driven cover band, and you have the other band from Bangladesh.
And 3 of the original Nemesis members are still walking this earth. So I think Rick would back us up.
Right.
And Dave Glazer's still around. He became our manager later on, so he would back us up. We got a lot of witnesses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to mention the legions of fans that used to come to our show. So.
Well, and then just the simple fact that we have the marketing, the stuff we did. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm surrounded by it. It's all over this table that people can't see. There's Nemesis stuff everywhere on this table.
Yeah, and you know how I came up with the name Nemesis, right? Pearl Jam.
Oh yeah.
Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam.
You even told the story on the podcast.
Nemesis, pulled out my fucking gun. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you showing up that day.
Up with,
that was just the first word out of your mouth. You said, I think we should call ourselves Nemesis. And everything got, you know how it went down back then. Everything got shot down like in a 1/10 of a second. And that was the first time that everybody was like,
right.
Nobody said anything. And Chris was like,
yeah.
Well, at least they're thinking about it, And so we all talked about it and looked up Nemesis, and it's the goddess of vengeance in Greek mythology. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, that's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
we went out there and kicked some ass under the Nemesis moniker from 1993 or 4 until 2000.
Yeah.
I know Chris jumped off the ride.
With that. I think we stick
somewhere
with that because
we kept going for a little while, but I told you it just petered out.
Once a nemesis, always a nemesis. So
yeah, we owned that name first.
William. It's funny. I ended up. Yeah, it's funny. Jesse, the drummer for the last band I was in, it was his birthday yesterday, and I haven't talked to him in years. But I always wish him a happy birthday. I've always messaged him happy birthday on Facebook and always text him. Yesterday, he finally responds back. I'm like, holy shit, dude, I haven't talked to you never. But it got me thinking. Whenever I'd introduce us on stage, it was Mike Michaels on guitar, and William Richard Carr III, because it just pissed off Rick because I used his full name. But I liked his full name because why not? And then I always
I like the way you
Scott
said
the
it.
drummer. Like I never said Scott. Right, I never said Scott Connor. I just said Scott the drummer. Well, in talking with Jesse yesterday for about 45 minutes via text, it dawned on me I did the same thing to Jesse. I never said Jesse Johnson. I just said Jesse the drummer. I don't know why that is, man.
Because it rolls off the
I think
tongue,
drummers
man.
just need to be defined. Like,
yes.
Right, Scott the drummer, Jesse the drummer, and Mike Michaels. And that's a weird thing. Like, if we could get, because Jesse still plays, if we could get him to join in, then we would have Mike Michaels on the guitar and Jesse Johnson, who you guys both have the same, Mike Michaels, Jesse Johnson.
That'd be
just
crazy.
Rolls, JJMM. Right? And then, of course, William Richard Carr III.
Do you remember the night that we got, see, I can't remember what gigs were what, so I just got to ask the question. Do you remember the night that we got booked with the Skinhead band at the Mason Jar?
Probably.
I was just telling that story the other day because I think Scott was the one that finally jumped in, and he was kind of like way crazier than even they were, and they got scared of him because he told them he was going to fight every one of them. He just asked who was first. I remember talking to one of those dudes and saying, to your point about drummers, I just remember talking to one of the guys who seemed to be the voice of reason on the other side of the Skinheads and saying, you got a drummer. We got a drummer. Drummers just like to beat the shit out of stuff. They're not really musicians, Their whole goal in life is to have as much physical stamina as humanly possible. Because playing the drums, to your point as a runner, is like running a long distance. You might be running a 10K doing a 2-hour show, So when you're going to fight a drummer, you might want to take into account that their whole existence in life is to beat the shit out of something, sometimes softly, sometimes hard, but they can do it for hours on end. Take the sticks out of their hand and that's your face.
Exactly.
That was my point to him.
Yeah, exactly. And and they are. And that's just, and their brains are wired differently too.
Yeah. Well, and my point was, that's the night that I learned in telling the story to this other person that skinheads hate everyone. They don't just hate themselves, or they don't just hate like black people, Hispanics. They hate long hairs. They hate Mormons. They hate everyone. If you're not one of them, they hate you. I didn't know that. I thought, they just hated ethnic groups. But that night proved differently. They don't like people with long hair either.
It's just straight across the board, which is disappointing. But
And the reason that story came up was somebody asked me how old you were when you went bald, and I said he wasn't bald. He just shaved his head. He had a full head of hair. So that's when I told that story. I said, oddly enough, I think the owner of one of the clubs that we played at got a little confused because he booked us with a skinhead band shortly after Chris shaved his head. That's how that went down. As Franco, I think he thought we were going skinhead or something.
Right. Yeah. No. My bald cap ripped. For those of you who don't know, I was in a play. I was in a play called Beau Jest, and I was playing Morrison the Butler, and I had a bald cap. And it was a bit part. It was a character role. I had like 6 lines. I I kind of waddled out on stage like a penguin on speed, issued my lines, and then exited, stage right, I think, at the time. But dress rehearsals the night before a play goes on for real. And when I wasn't taking it off myself, but somebody's helping me remove it, and the ball cap ripped. And it was like, oh shit. So it was one of those things, well, I could either, it was 2 days before the show. So it was either I don't do it, but to me, the bit was the fact this guy was bald. So I just shaved my head. So the next day, I think I came to practice with a mohawk because I had a mohawk for a day.
You did.
And then the play, and then the play. And then after the day of the play in the makeup room, they just finished it off. They just shaved it all right down the middle, and the mohawk was gone.
And my point to the listeners is this was 1994, 95, somewhere in there. Guys were not shaving their head.
93.
93? Guys were not shaving their head at all. It was not socially acceptable. That's why this was, I don't think the person really got how shocking that was. When I shaved my head, it wasn't real shocking. It was 2009 or whatever. In 1993, a dude shows up and he's got shaved head. He's either got cancer, he's a skinhead, or what the fuck happened? There was only 3 questions.
Right.
I'm like, holy shit, is my fucking brother sick? I think, is Chris dying? No, he just got his hat stuck to his head. Cool.
No, and I think that one picture too. I think it actually, when we were sitting on the fence, I think that was one of the first pictures we took.
We were not sitting
after I first shaved my head.
We were not sitting on a fence. We were sitting on that archway across the street from Scott's house. Remember when he lived in Mesa in that duplex on the corner?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Remember we got run off for trespassing? Right. Then people came out. They were pissed. They didn't get amused that we got up there at all, but we got the picture.
Yeah.
I think my buddy Dave took that picture.
Yeah.
Somebody did. But yeah, that was the first picture of all 4 of us. And you're right. That was probably just shortly after you shaved your head. Yeah, we were sitting on an archway where people drove through. It was a nice community across the street.
Yeah.
That guy came out of that guard jack. He's like, you guys can't be up there.
Don't you say that.
Relax, fucker. Relax. We're all right. We got it.
My bad. There's no sign, man. It doesn't say keep out.
Exactly. At 22, you just don't think about stuff like that. So we needed to get a picture. We didn't care whose property it was on.
You don't. Nope, we didn't. All right. So it's almost 4:00. Let's wind this puppy up. Let's do our, did you get the email about top 11 sandwiches? Yeah, check your email, Mike. And I didn't bold anything at all this time, so you can start with number 11 when you get to it. And just for everybody that is following along our program here, we wrap up every show with a top 11 list of something. And the reason why we do top 11 is
because of the great and mighty Spinal Tap. It goes to 11. It's one better than 10.
It goes to 11.
It goes to 11.
It is one better than 10. So today's top 11 list is the top 11 sandwiches ever made.
Number 11.
So Mike's going to start off with number 11.
Is ham and cheese, or in my case, fake cheese, or vegan cheese, or whatever you'd like to call it. It's delicious.
Fake cheese. I have vegan cheese. I eat vegan cheese now too. I have chow. Have you tried the chow cheese? Yeah, it is, right? I was pleasantly surprised.
I was.
I've tried them all.
Never had.
That by far is my go-to. Number 10, tuna fish. I used to eat tuna fish sandwiches when I was a kid.
I still do occasionally, especially when I don't feel good.
It's good post-workout too. It's good post-workout. Yeah. You can heat a tuna fish sandwich in the oven, and you call it a tuna bumstead.
I did not know that. I will try it sometime.
Number 9. Yeah, number 9. Go ahead.
Number 9 is pastrami on sourdough, which I think sourdough is poison to me, but it sounds delicious.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's crunchy. Number 8, roast beef. And we're not talking America's roast beef. We're just talking roast beef.
Roast
That's
beef.
not an Arby's plug unless you want to sponsor our show. This portion of the show is sponsored to you by Arby's, America's roast
See?
beef. Yes, sir.
And for those who are listening, Chris can do commercials
go.
very well. He's got that voice.
I
So
can.
number 7.
Yes.
One of my favorites and a go-to, as anybody will tell you that works with me, smoked turkey. I love smoked turkey.
Is that real, Ted and Tanya? Does Mike like smoked turkey sandwiches?
Tanya will tell you she ate a lot of lunches.
No, we'll know
with me.
for sure if they listen to the show.
That's right.
Okay, right on. Number 6. Number 6. Now I kind of took this list into the not just sandwich, but if it's got 2 pieces of bread and something in the middle,
It's a sandwich.
So number 6 is a patty melt. It's a sandwich. Number
Damn
6 is
damn
patty
straight.
melt.
Number 5, one of my favorites, a brisket sandwich. Oh yeah.
I would agree. I had my first brisket burger maybe sometime in 2023, and holy shit, was that just an awakening of the taste buds and
Right?
and just an all over aura of like pure satisfaction. Like that's it right there. Brisket sandwich, bomb diggity.
I like to call that a mouth
Number 4.
orgasm.
Now I don't know if they have these in Illinois. Oh, there you go. I don't know if they have these in Illinois, but there's
You're gonna
a
have to
place
tell
here
me what it
locally
is.
called Chiba Hut, and their sandwiches. Okay, so you would love it because everything's stoner themed.
Right on.
Like every sandwich is named after some kind of weed. The bread is not just boring bread. There's something always baked into it. So it's Chiba Hut, a Chiba Hut sandwich. If
Well,
you go
next time I'm in
online,
Arizona,
for
I'm
those that
trying
are
one.
following along here, Chiba Hut. It's CHEBA Hut, CHEBA Hut, and we'll just totally taking their toasted subs, which are tasty. So it's the best bread. Okay, so like Jamaican Red is a buffalo chicken sandwich. Jamaican Red is obviously a brand of pot. Kali Mist, Thai Stick,
Oh yeah.
White Widow, Panama
Talker.
Red, Acapulco Gold, the Kind, Apollo 13. You Rush fans can relate to this because of their oh my god, I just brain farted on the train to Bangkok. Is that the song? Oh fuck.
Rush?
Yeah.
Yes.
Chronic. They have yeah. What's that song? Yeah. Okay. Bangkok. I just, for some reason, I brain farted. They have a La Cana. They have a 5.0, the Pacalola Chronic, which is something you'll love, Mike. It's roast beef.
Oh yeah.
KGB, AK-47, G13, Midwest Best, Cincy Kush, which is bacon, honey, sriracha, mayo, avocado, provolone, lettuce, tomato, shake house dressing. Pacific Blue, Bomb, and Dank. And it just goes on. A-Train, Grifo, Chisel, Magic Mushroom, Power Plant, Sticky Icky. So again, it's Chiba, CHEBA Hut. They're legit. It's a cool little place. It's the food's fantastic. So that's why they ranked number 4 on our top 11 sandwiches of all time. Any sandwich from Chiba Hut.
That's awesome.
That was Dave Letterman would be pissed off that we just took that sidetrack on his world famous syndicated top 10, which is why we do 11, so he can't get sued. But that took too long to explain number 4. That's a top 10 list no, even though we're doing 11.
But
so,
I like
now
that
back to you, Mr. Mike Michaels.
because we don't follow rules. Rules
I
are
knew you
made to
would.
be
That's why I put
broken.
it there.
I like it.
We'd-
Number 3 will be a
don't
debate,
follow
and
rules.
if you'd like to chime in on the
Yes, it will be.
Chris and Mike Show Facebook page and tell us what you think. Number 3 is a hot dog, and my partner here says
It is
it
a
is
hot
beef
dog.
in a bun.
I know.
And if it is an all beef hot dog on a bun, I think it's
Exactly.
arguable that it's a sandwich. I get serious about my hot
Exactly.
dogs. It'll be a
And
sandwich
you-
when I'm done with it.
Because the poor man's hot dog bun is you put the hot dog between 2 pieces of bread. Remember that when you were a kid? You didn't have the money for hot dog buns, but you got bread. So you put the hot
I
dog
did it
between
when
the
I
bread.
was in the band, buddy. If I could,
There you go.
if I could
Now
afford
Metallica's
bread.
bologna sandwich.
The hand sandwich.
Right. That was like Metallica's bologna sandwich. They just had bologna on their hand. Famous. Number 2,
Hand
which
sandwich.
everybody will agree with. Even vegan cheese eaters can agree to this. Number 2 is a grilled cheese sandwich.
Had one for dinner last night.
If you're Nikki, she wants tomato soup with that.
That's what I had too.
And if you're Nikki, she wants tomato soup with that. And the number one best selling, not selling, but the number one best sandwich ever is
a cheeseburger with no cheese, please.
Yep. with no cheese for Mike, or vegan cheese. Because why? It's got a bun. It's got the meat. It's got the bun. It's a sandwich. It's a sandwich. Not a wrap.
My dad would say it's a sandwich.
It's a sandwich.
It's a sandwich.
So there you go. It's a sandwich.
He gets serious about his hamburger.
Next time we can debate how you spell sandwich, if it's with a D or without a D. Yeah.
You spell it however you want.
That's what I got for today. How about you? Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm going to
thanks
put.
for playing along, kids.
Yes, I'm going to put a post because they're selling
ahead.
these shirts right here, right now. So I told you my friend Sunshine has helped us immensely with the podcast. It's the least I can do. Her daughter's, so her grandson, her daughter's son, he had a stroke when he was in the womb, and it's called hemiplegic cerebral palsy.
Oh.
So it affected the left side of his brain.
Oh.
And he's normal in almost every aspect of life, but it causes him to have to do things that are harder, like things are harder for him than they are for most kids. So in order to offset like costs of him going to his doctor's appointments and stuff like that, they do a fundraiser. These shirts are awesome. They're quality t-shirts. They're cheap. A portion of it goes to help him do what he needs to do. He's an amazing kid, man. He's been here at my house. You'd think you just had another little man in your house. And when somebody at that age comes in and acts, I mean, it wouldn't even be necessary to say any of this. I'm just saying, I've met the kid. He's amazing. Whatever I can do to help them out, I would like to do. So I'll put it on our Chris and Mike show page. And if you can, we're not saying you have to, but if you're able to help, buy a shirt. They're cool shirts. I like them. And she's done a lot for us, and it's the least I can do to repay the favor. They only ask one time a year, and right now they're doing it. So I'm going to put a post on there, and I just wanted to give her a shout out and tell everybody why we're putting that there. So that's why this poor little guy, he's got to go to physical therapy. He's a normal kid. You would never know. And that's the cool thing about him. He just, he wants to do everything that everybody else does, and we should help him do that if we can. So with that said, I hope everybody has a great week.
And before we go, a shout out to the lava lamp behind you. It's really encapsulated the mood of the show. I like watching it go up and down.
I'm gonna
until episode number 12. I'm Chris Dunham. He's
listen.
Mike Michaels.
No. Because now I got to tell you, son of a bitch, see, I have to make sure that's the first thing I do when I come home on Tuesday, because do you know how long it takes to heat that thing up? Almost exactly till we start doing the show. Right? But you can't just leave it running because it can only run like,
man.
Oh yeah. Anyway, thanks. I got a new LED 16 million.
Yeah, because it gets too hot.
Yeah, you can't leave them running all the time.
It gets too hot, right?
So it's just hilarious that at 50 years old, I'm like, yeah, got to do podcast day. I got to get home quick and turn the lava lamp on because it won't be bubbling in time for. How stupid! I just laughed at myself.
You know what's funny? Skylar told me. I think Skylar told me last week or something that I need a lava lamp just because Trip, the little one, he's 7-month-old. He loves like lights and stuff. Like when we have the Christmas lights up, he just stares. We have this really cool laser thing that little man and I play with. That it's green, but it like makes green like lasers. But it's I don't know. It's not just one line. It's like 1,000 lines, and then you can turn the head of the flashlight to spin around and stuff. And Trip loves it. we were
That's
messing around
awesome.
the other night. We turned all the lights off, and little man was ghost hunting, and we're using that light, and he was just so captivated by it. So, Scott's
So
like,
as
"Dad, you
much
should get a
as
lava lamp." And I was like,
you've been watching this one, I'll out myself and say I've
Yeah.
actually turned this chair around, because for the folks at home, obviously that's right behind me. I've sat in this chair and just watched the lava lamp and done nothing else. So it is very captivating. Like,
That's
I'm just going to
awesome.
ponder life for about a half hour and watch this thing. That's how I live. And with that, everybody be kind to one
That's with
another.
that. We'll see you next week.
And thanks for listening.
Yes, always. And remember,
Peace.
if you're not alone. You're not alone. So if you're
You're
feeling
not
bad,
alone.
you're feeling down, go find somebody. Yeah, go find somebody to talk to. Talk to your friends. Talk
Drop
to your
us a
family.
message.
Don't suffer alone. You don't have to in this day and age. Yeah, drop us a message. Always happy to talk to people, regardless of what it's about.
Absolutely. Peace.
Peace out. See you, buddy. Nothing but love, man. Nothing but love.
Amen.